The meadow was green. Flowers bloomed in every color. Butterflies fluttered by. It was a beautiful place to live. Max the rabbit lived there. He loved to hop and skip. Max was very, very fast. He liked to remind everyone, "I'm the fastest rabbit in the meadow," he would boast. Max would wiggle his nose and zoom past the other animals. "Look how fast I am," he'd shout. The other animals would shake their heads. Max was fast, but he was also very boastful. They wished he would learn some manners. One sunny day, Max was showing off his speed. He zipped around a group of field mice. The mice squealed as he sped past. "See, I told you," Max cried, puffing out his chest. "No one is faster than me." Just then, old Sam the tortoise ambled into view. He was slow and steady. He carried his home on his back. Sam had seen it all before. He had heard Max's boasts many times. "Slow and steady wins the race, Max," he said, chuckling softly. Max stopped hopping. He turned to Sam, his nose twitching. "What was that, Sam?" he asked, trying to hide his annoyance. "Did you say you could beat me in a race?" He chuckled. The very idea seemed ridiculous to him. Sam smiled gently. "Well, Max," he said, "I might be slow, but I'm steady. Perhaps you'd like to put that famous speed of yours to the test." A hush fell over the meadow. The other animals gasped. Sam had challenged Max to a race. Max burst into laughter. "Me? Race you, Sam?" he hooted, tears welling up in his eyes. "You're the slowest creature in the meadow." He couldn't believe Sam was serious. This would be the easiest race of his life. But Sam, unfazed by Max's mockery, simply smiled. "So is it a yes, Max?" he asked, his voice calm and composed. "Let's have a race to the other end of the meadow. The first one to reach the big oak tree wins." Word of the race spread through the meadow. By morning, everyone was buzzing with excitement. They had all gathered to watch. The sun shone brightly. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves. The starting line was drawn. Max bounced on his toes. He couldn't wait to show everyone his speed. He glanced at Sam. The old tortoise seemed so calm. Sam just smiled back. He knew his own strength. A hush fell over the crowd. Freddie the fox was the referee. He held a flag high above his head. "Ready?" he announced, his voice echoing across the meadow. Max crouched low, muscles tensed. Sam tucked in his head, then stretched it out slowly. "Set," Freddie continued, excitement building in the air. The meadow held its breath. This was it. The moment everyone had been waiting for. This was the great race. "Go!" Freddie lowered the flag with a flourish. Max shot off the starting line. He zipped across the meadow in a blur of brown fur. He quickly left Sam far behind. The crowd cheered. Max was so fast, he was already halfway to the finish line. Max glanced back. Sam was just a speck in the distance. "See," Max thought, "this is too easy." He decided to take a little break. He found a shady spot under a buttercup. The sun felt warm on his fur. The scent of wildflowers filled the air. Max's eyelids began to droop. He closed his eyes, thinking, "I'll wake up before Sam even gets close." He drifted off into a peaceful sleep. Sam, meanwhile, plodded on. He wasn't as fast as Max, but he was steady. He didn't stop. He didn't rush. He just kept going, one slow step at a time. The crowd watched in amazement. Sam was passing the spot where Max had been napping. "Go, Sam, go!" they cheered, their voices echoing across the meadow. They had never seen such determination. Sam, encouraged by the cheers, continued his steady progress. He could see the large oak tree in the distance. The finish line was in sight. He just needed to keep going. Finally, after what seemed like a very long time, Sam reached the oak tree. Freddie the fox waved his flag excitedly. "Sam is the winner," he announced, his voice booming across the meadow. The crowd erupted in cheers. They lifted Sam onto their shoulders, celebrating his victory. Sam, the slow and steady tortoise, had won the great race. Max woke up to the sound of cheering. He sat up, rubbing his eyes. "What's going on?" he wondered sleepily. Then he saw Sam being carried on the shoulders of the crowd. Max couldn't believe his eyes. "Did I oversleep?" he gasped. Max hopped over to the finish line, his ears drooping. He saw the disappointed faces of the animals he had boasted to before. He felt ashamed of himself. He had been so sure he would win, but his overconfidence had cost him the race. Sam approached Max, a kind smile on his wrinkled face. "Slow and steady wins the race, Max," he reminded him gently. Max finally understood. He hung his head, realizing the truth in Sam's words. "You were right, Sam," he said, his voice filled with remorse. "I should have listened." From that day on, Max was a changed rabbit. He learned that it's not enough to be fast. He learned the value of humility and perseverance. He even became good friends with Sam, and together they taught everyone in the meadow that true victory comes from trying your best and never giving up, and that, as Sam always said, slow and steady wins the race.